Yeah, so it's been being recorded right now. It's being recorded. So
I
yeah.
was just thinking if Anastasia like to share too, so it's equal, then I'll share mine. I don't know, but
Mm,
yeah, as far as now, so I've been actually eating like past 4 days without breaks. I mean, I eat like once a day mostly, but before that, I had 3 weeks of the Cascade, and then I took 2 weeks off in August. So I did four. Okay, let me back forward.
yeah.
My um, with the Cascade, since we're starting and talking about the Cascade fasting, and I learned about the Cascade fasting, I think, from Dr. Filonov, and he explains it as you fast one day, you eat one day, you fast 2 days, you eat 2 days, and you go all the way to 5 days, and it's a dry fasting when you don't eat. And I've came across to this similar protocol with some of the retreats who offers that. And then I found this lady who was offering a group um, where you fast every other day. So you fast for 36 to 42 hours or more, depends on you. And then you eat, and then you go into fast again. And you do that for 30 days. So in 30 days, you actually have 15 dry days. So in April, beginning of April, I've started that with the group, and I continued for 4 months without a break. So I didn't have any days where I ate like 2 days in a row. Um, and uh, and then I had a break for 2 weeks, and then I went to the 3 weeks again of the Cascade, and now it's been 4 days I've been eating. So I am like just feeling different things because with my experience, like the cleansing is really intense, and one of the differences that I've noticed between the dry fasting and the water fasting, not that I've ever done water fasting, so I can't really speak about that, but from reading and talking to other people, water fast does like more of the physical body cleanse, where the dry fasting also works on the other levels, more like a spiritual and psychological and emotional levels. So with 4 months, I've noticed that maybe my psychic got tired. Like I got tired of the routine, and I like maybe there was some like a deeper cleansing going on. But I got to the point that I had to, like, I felt like I needed to take a break. Whatever it was, the demons talking to me, or I really needed to take a break. But I took a break, and there was more fears, like, would I ever be able to eat every day? What would happen to me if I eat every day? So that was happening. Me feeling like I don't belong to anyone because I'm living this very unique lifestyle was happening. And it was definitely hard as I was starting getting invited into the birthday parties and other things, and it's everything is surrounded with food. And I didn't have a problem doing like not eating if it's like during the my fasting days, but my like mentally, and then I would like eat maybe more on my food days because of that feeling of like exclusive, like that I'm not part, like I don't belong. So like a lot of things was happening, so I kind of fell off, and then on the 15th, like I started again August 15th. So I did 3 weeks, and now I think it's like I'll talk more about maybe like the reasons I feel like we fall off the wagon when we decide to fast. But now there was something happening in a family, and like we've talked before, like I've talked before about like emotional eating, and like we just kind of stuff the emotions away with food. So I think that's what's been happening with me with the school starting, and a lot of things like changes and the spiritual learning, and just a lot. And I guess it was hard for me to like continue with that. So,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm doing right now. But the plan is to go back to the Cascade. I'm thinking it's going to be probably the 15th again of September. Then I'll go back to it, and the hope is to go back into the. My idea is to continue with it on like a lifestyle in this regimen, like one-on-one, like one day food, one day dry day. It's very easy on the body. It's like it's not stressful. Like it's not like you put in your body through like a 7 day of the continuous dry fast where your mind starts like, because I did the 7 day dry fast and in my mind started like, why do you need this? This is dumb. Look at all the people. They're normal. They eat. Why do you do this to yourself? And it was like started on like really getting into me by like day 6. So, and in this regimen in 30 days you actually have 15 days of dry fasting, and it's a very smooth way of healing your body and healing your mind. And yeah, so I've been like really enjoying it. The
Yeah.
like when I'm in it, I really enjoy it. And the 2 weeks when I wasn't in it, back in August, I felt like I was asleep. Like I felt like my whole like um day was just kind of surreal. Even though it wasn't a day, like I would eat like still eat maybe in like 2 or 3 hours within a day, like just I drink and then I eat and then I drink and that'll be it. But like I felt like I was sleepwalking. Like my senses was not as sharp, and I am alert, I think, like more than like most people, but like compared to like myself and then like Cascade, I was not as alert. I was okay to sit on a couch and maybe like watch a movie versus go on a bike ride for like very long time. So like a drive was disappearing. Like I've noticed a lot of like kind of changes like that. So that's what I've been doing. I hope I
Mm.
answered your question.
Yeah, yeah. And I wanted to ask you to give general background of cascade fasting because for many people they just hear it for the first time. So like cascade fasting for people who don't know anything about it,
Sure.
and how you came to that and what is the purpose of it and how it was developed. So whatever you feel relevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not really clear how it was developed. Like Filonov talks about it, there's not much information in English. Like I know the Fast and Fellowship does talks about that. Um, but there's not much like where it's coming from. The way Filonov talks about it, for the people with because he's a medical doctor and he does fasting for the healing illness, to heal illnesses. He suggests to like anybody can go 36 hours, like anybody can go 36 hours without food or water and they'll be all right. I mean, there's very little limitations to that, who like it's not suggested, for whom it's not suggested. So when you go 36 hours, your body kind of, your mind says, oh, okay, I survived. No, not much, there's not much to it. Um, and then your fears are not as escalated. So then you add another day, and then you go for 2 days. And when you go through 2 days, it's also the same kind of your body has that experience, your body learns that you able to feel the success, and then you add another third day and fifth day and so on. So the cascade is equal days of fasting and equal days of food. And the idea of it is that it has the накопительство, как по-русски? You're muted.
Accumulation. Accumulation, I would
So
say.
it has that effect of accumulation. So you accumulate those days, even though you eat in between, you accumulate those days, and it's much easier on the mind. Cascade dry fasting, when we have a window of like 8 hours to 6 hours where you consume liquids and a plant-based, mostly raw diet, very like specific. Also, the way you it's suggested that you take your food and drinks, and then you also like sorry um so that's, and then you go into that. And what's nice about it, when you don't just do it for like 1 day 2 days, like, but you do it for 30 days in like one-on-one regimen, your body get into that rhythm, and it's becomes easy. Like it becomes like, I think by the third or fourth like time, I found myself looking forward to the days without food, because it was simple. I didn't have to think what I'm gonna eat. I didn't have to cook. I had more time to spend on doing stuff. So I'm deviating from your question. Um, so the idea is you go to 5 days, and the lady that started the groups, like one of the ladies, like she actually went to three. So she did 1 month one-on-one, then the second month 2 and 2, where you eat 2 days and you fast 2 days, you eat 2 days and you fast 2 days, and you go for 30 days like that. And then you do 3 days, three food and three dry fasting, and you can go up to 5 days. So the whole program can take you 5 months. With what happens in the 36 hours, like certain body processes and the cleansing processes. I'm not going to get into all the molecular and the cellular stuff, because I'm just not into that on what's happening in our body. But I do know the longer we go without food and water, the deeper cleansing happening on the cellular level. So if you have like a illness or chronic illness that you're trying to get rid of or trying to cleanse, the longer you go, the more likely you will be successful with getting that out of your system, where your the cells that not as healthy will get destroyed and the healthy cells will remain. So that's basically the purpose of the cascade fasting, in my understanding, how it was developed to help people with severe illnesses who may be overweight and cannot sustain like 7 days right away. Doing it cascade is much slower way of implementing it, and yet you can get to the 5 days and have that cleansing effect. And so that's how that's what I know about it. And for me, I think I've read about it a couple of times, and I think before that I did the intermittent fasting, where I would do like 20 hours of dry and then 4 food, or 23-1, like just one meal a day. Like I did that for like a year or so, and I keep thinking like it would be cool just, oh, this is what happened. Before I did the intermittent fasting, I would fast like once a week or so, like just a dry fast for 36 hours, and I missed that. Like I couldn't figure out, how do I like eat tonight, like today, like 5 p.m., right? I have meal, and then would I go to like 5 p.m. like today's, like that's a lot. So like those fears and not knowing, and so like I lingered in that for probably a year or so. And I just found some information and on YouTube and on some other social media platform, where I read about it, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like, and again, that's the fear factor. Like knowing that other people do it, like kind of calmed my brain, and then I can do it. So that's how I came to it. And doing it with the group, especially the first time, first month, it was very beneficial, because I did it by myself. Like I did like 2 weeks by myself back in December, but it's harder to just, for me, it's harder to keep with it. And I've learned so much with the group that I didn't know when I was doing it, and I didn't know what I was doing wrong and stuff. So that's kind of what, that's cascade fasting kind of like.
Mm. Very interesting.
expanded.
Yeah. And what is the regimen like of cascade fasting? Like, how do you approach it? So the first week you eat one day, and then you fast the next day. The second week you eat 2 days, and then you fast the next 2 days. How does it go?
No, I just go one day on, one day off. I don't mix it. I don't add the days. I don't. I did like one day, I think 2 days, but I don't think I'm ready for that. Um, I think I've talked about my experience of regression after my 7 days, where I couldn't like even fast a day after that, and I couldn't understand why would I need to do that, and I don't want to like any of that experience. And I think till I'm really comfortable with one-on-one, um, for myself, I like to continue with that. So I just go one-on-one, just eat
Ah,
one
okay.
day, don't eat another day, eat one day, don't eat another day. That's all I do.
Mm-hmm. And the people who really adopt it as a lifestyle, do they increase the amount of days and fasting days and eating days later on or not?
Uh, with the group that I'm in, not to my knowledge.
Okay.
With another group, the one that Evgenia that I was talking about, she have done like 3 days, where she would go for the whole month, like 3 days with food and 3 days without food, 3 days with food, 3 days without food. For me personally, if I ever go to it, it's also Filano talks about it, where you don't exactly add a same number of days of food, but you will expand the window where you go without food. So
Mm,
for instance, you'll go 2 days without food, then you eat a day, 2 days without food, then you eat a day. Like that to me would be something I would like to go maybe several years down the road. I don't want to do this right now. Even like doing it in this like for 4 months, I've noticed the tension, and I want to get comfortable with it if I like to come to the place to extend it later.
yeah, very, very interesting. And then the days that you do not eat according to what Filonov says, it should be dry, or there are people who do it dry and do it with water.
Yeah, mine is dry, but it's not. So there's two different types, like you might guys know already. Two different types of dry fasting. There's a hard dry fast, and then there's a soft dry fast. With the hard dry fast, we don't touch water, like any contacts with water. Like you can tell, like I might be fasting today. I don't know, but I've been in the ocean today, and I get in the water. But with the hard dry fast, you don't touch water, you use gloves. If you wash anything, you don't take showers, you don't like brush it. Well, brushing teeth is a completely different story, but like you don't do anything. Like you just stay dry. With the soft dry fast, that's what I do. I don't like make it any special for me, and it's not for the health reasons that I do. Well, for the health reasons, but that's not my main goal. So I touch water, I wash. I don't use any hard chemicals or anything ever. So it's pretty clean. Like if I use baking soda to wash my sink, I think it'll be okay. My body be okay. But well, let me like back off. On the like days like that, I try not to like deep clean or anything. If I do, I do put the gloves on, so even the baking soda won't come in. But with the water, especially like ocean and natural water, I don't.
Mhm.
But I don't drink water, and I think it's more effective. But then I'm like a big fan of the dry fast. I don't like. I've never felt like a water liquid fasting was like fasting,
Mm,
but that's
yeah.
me.
Yeah, no, actually, I meant if there are people who actually do a water fast during those days, or so
No,
it is dry fast for everyone.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and are there any requirements according to the original technique developed by Filonov or other Russian people of a certain regimen of eating on the eating days, in terms of eating window, in terms of recommended foods and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. So it's you start with less, like it's the same I guess gradation. Like you start with a less the lighter
Mhm.
stuff, and then you go to the heavy stuff. So that's kind of the idea of it. So you start with water, then follow with diluted juice, then you can have the salad that cleans the digestion, and then after that you can have fruits. So the salad is important. It's absorbed the toxins and helps to flush out the system, especially for the first month. And the timing is also suggested, like how much time, like a break between, like you drink water, then you wait a certain period of time, then you drink juice, then you wait a certain period of time, then you eat a salad, then you wait a certain period of time. So like you mix the stuff, like so it's not mixed in the stomach. So it's that's suggested. And it's suggested also not start, like you can maybe start with water maybe at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock if possible, but like maybe eating starts like at lunch.
Mm.
And you should be done by 6 p.m. Or 8 p.m. if needed, but not later.
Mhm.
And definitely that is very important. And mixing things was my mistake, or my not knowing, I guess, when I tried to do it by myself back in December. um Mixing things, that like mixing foods that don't come like together, like they don't like combine well, and it's causes the fermentation, and they just like, so yeah, like things like that help me a lot.
Mhm. Yeah, okay, very, very interesting. So, what tips, if someone wants to try this kind of fasting? So, how to how to survive those fasting days more easily? Because we're not talking here about just one, like 24 or 36 hours every week. We are talking about, one day you eat and one day you don't eat. So,
Yeah,
whatever comes to your mind, how to make it easier for a person.
yeah. So what I found it helpful for me, like I've developed so many new hobbies, and like I had to like book, especially in the beginning. Like my work day is easy because I don't ever eat when I'm in the office. So like if I work like on Mondays, I work long day, piece of cake. After like my last client, I might go for like a run, or I go to like ocean, and then by the time I come home, I just have to sleep. That's it. So
Mhm.
easy. On the weekends, harder, because we like, it's me in the fridge with like a beautiful fruit. So like a watermelon, right? So it's harder. And like I also have families, so I have to be mindful of them. But what I found it very helpful for me, for once, like I have to get up early and do like my routine, like meditation and things like that. But then I keep it so busy. Like I plan trips, I plan gatherings, I plan uh, like I start getting massages, because I figure even when I travel now, I figure, well, I don't go to restaurant to eat. That's what people do when they travel to new places, right? So I found myself, like I just came back from mountains 2 weeks ago, and like I would just get massages, and that was great. So I would book a massage, and that takes like a good couple hours. And like I've picked up like a new like hobby, like on a rainy day you might see it, like I do like a
Mhm.
thousand piece of the puzzle. And like I have some projects with my kids, and if I tell them we're going to do it, then they're going to hold me responsible and we'll do it. So I like deep clean my house, like I got rid of, like overall fasting like helped me to like became like more minimalistic more and more. These I think we like got rid of even more stuff, even though like there was already very little stuff. But like even more stuff. So like I cleaned, I think for the first like 3 my dry days, I've cleaned a lot and I got rid of a lot of stuff. I did gardening, like planted stuff, planted vegetables and flowers. So like sanded, like I sanded this dining room table and painted. So like have projects and like really do them.
Mm.
That's what helps. I picked up like a paddle boarding, so I go in the ocean for like 2 or 3 hours at the time, and like I just don't think about food day. It's just much more beautiful and much more interesting. So we eat when we're bored. That's one of the reasons when we eat. So if I keep myself really occupied and entertained with things that I enjoy, then I don't have time to think about food. I even like I found myself, I start planning my life according to if it's a food day or not food day or not food day. Because like on the food day, like I don't have time. Like I have to get stuff, come home, like prep meals or prep food, then I have to clean up, then I have to eat, and also takes time. So I'm actually like excited about like not food days, like a freedom from food. That's what I like to call.
Amazing. Yeah, yeah. So basically, you have to know what you're going to use your time for. Very
Yeah,
important. Very
yeah. And
important.
I think by the third month, like I feel that like I filled my life so much that like I didn't feel like I have that extra time anymore.
Hmm. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, guys. So do you have any questions so far?
Yes, Anna, thank you for sharing all that wonderful information. This is my first time hearing about Cascade fasting, and I like the idea. It seems a bit more manageable for me. And there are two things I wanted to ask you about. One is, have you noticed that you've lost very much weight? Because I have a problem, keeping my weight. Like I think I'm underweight, and I don't like, seeing myself
Yeah.
this way.
Okay, I
That's
thought you
my
have a
first
second
question. Yeah,
question.
so I'll
Yeah,
let you answer that.
I can, okay, I can answer this one. Um, so as far as the weight, first month I lost. And I lost, I don't remember, like we have pounds here. Um, I don't remember how much I lost, but I had extra weight to lose. Like not a lot, but I had maybe like 10, 15 pounds, maybe like
kilos.
yeah, like something like maybe a little bit more that I lost. Probably more, probably like closer to 20 pounds that I lost. Um, and then second month, I lost like two, one, like very minimal, like because the first month, like they were like just kind of shredding away from me. And I want to say like I probably looked like more like thinner than like I usually did. But we had like in the peak of the pandemic, so like my usual people didn't really like see me. So by the third month, I stopped losing it. And then actually I've gained back. I think by the end of the fourth month, or like in the 2 weeks, I've gained it back on maybe 1/3. So like I am like in my normal, but I always been in my normal weight. About people that like in a group that underweight, what happened to them, like you cannot lose more than it's not going to be eating you right if you do it properly. If you because it's not like it's important to like do other things like walk bare feet and observe the nature and stuff like that. You need to get the energy from nature, because like I don't lose like anything right now. I go like 48 hours without food and water, and like I lose zero.
Uh,
Like it's amazing to me, because before like it was like always like these like swings,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Up and down, up and down. And like I don't like it's really amazing, because now I believe people who says, who don't eat at all and they don't lose, because like okay, like I don't. uh, my mind is not ready for not eating at all, but that's a different story. But for the people that like I know who's underweight, who they last for the first month, and those toxins, and like it's not to be afraid. They different people, like again, like it's a group, maybe like close to 100 people that went through the same experience of the cascade fasting. And the way it comes back, the organizer, she says that actually there's people that gain weight and they become like not underweight. But then again, I also like my thinking about like overweight and underweight. We are thinking about norms, right? The norms of the society that was established based on what? Based on we eat everything, this, and that. Norms are skewed based on how like population moves. Even like sizes of the clothing skewed. So when you say underweight, like my question would be, are you feeling comfortable with yourself? Or is it like a society saying that you're underweight? Like what is happening? Like is it like we're not supposed to be like walking like beans with like a bunch of fat hanging around us? Like it's just not like it's not like okay, it's became okay. So like right now when I'm thin, but I'm not like I'm not thin, I'm not like thin, like I don't. But people do say like, oh, you're so thin, like you need to eat more. Like okay, like it's not gonna help me in any way. But like I don't even like discuss that. Or like I have another friend who like she can get underweight if she like if we would fast together. Underweight again according to these norms. And so my point is, if you feel okay, if you feel energized, if you feel comfortable, that's okay. And I think with that cleansing, like if you go into the cascade fasting and you like do that, what happens usually, the parasites and the mushrooms and all the stuff that in our digestive tract get cleansed. And actually when you start eating, the food will get
Absorbed.
absorbed better, right? And your body will like become healthier.
Right.
The only suggestion is on the food days, like if you like afraid of that, the minute I got back into eating avocados, like I eat about two, sometimes even three, and then like nuts. Um, that like maybe that's when my weight stopped coming off. I don't know. But yeah, I was like at some point I'm like, okay, like is it ever gonna stop? Yes.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive, right? That you need to eat less in order to have the right kind of weight, right? To absorb nutrients better. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the cleansing process.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And then my other question was like, do you do the enemas on your at all? No, on this kind of one day on, one day off. You don't need to.
No. The only suggestion is maybe like and I was talking to Arik, like my hope is to actually start running this Cascade groups in English, like offer that to people. And what it wasn't like suggested to like, I've done it like training with two different practitioners. Maybe have like a prep, like a week or so where you have a lighter diet and stuff. And the first day before you go in, maybe like the suggestion is to maybe drink like a senna tea to like cleanse a little bit. If like it becomes where you don't go to the bathroom and you have very severe headache, to relieve that on a food day, you can use like that as like a resort. But if you utilize all the like like if you follow the protocol strictly, because that was my kind of concern. I had some issues with that before, like just the bowel movement overall. Like if I start eating less, then I don't like use the bathroom as much, and then like I get headaches and like all of that. Like, and that was my fear. But I want to say by But probably like the first, even like, I'm not talking about me, but I'm talking about like the whole groups for overall people, like about first week, after first week, everything is normalized and you don't need it. And on the dry days, it's not even suggested because it's like the water will be absorbed into your body. So it would be kind of the same as you would be drinking. So you're breaking a fast just from the different end.
Right. And on your eating days, you're staying within a 6 hour window?
I like, if I can, not always, it's like possible, but 6 hours is suggested, right? From like noon to 6 is the best window to eat. Start with water and then just listen to your body. Yeah, for myself, I like to like, sometimes when I work, for instance, if I don't get off till like 4 o'clock, my window is going to be just smaller. But it's me personally, I think it's pretty advanced. Most people start, as soon as the 36 hours hit, that's when they start drinking. So it is fine, like, right? And you can have a longer window and then you can shorten as you get more experience. Okay. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Anna. Yeah, great.
Okay, guys, any more questions?
I've got one.
Cool. Hi, Rory.
How's it, Arik? How are you?
Excellent. Good to see you. Okay.
Can I call you Anna? Hi, Anna. Thank you so far for the lovely introduction to Cascade fasting. It's very interesting, and it's something I've been thinking about also. And certainly, you've given me some confidence to test it out. I wanted to ask you about your experience with kidney filtering, and if you were filtering before, and if you started filtering during, and if you have any tips perhaps, or experience with any of your other fasters that you've in contact with on how to promote kidney filtering and like. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I don't have any personal experience with that. I think I've spoke about it before. I did the Schultz kidney, like it has like 4 different things, like 2 intestinal, kidney, and liver clean. So I did that for 30 days. But that was 2019, before, as a preparation for my 7-day fast. But I've never had any like issues. Like I want to cleanse the liver just because I've been feeling kind of on my right side. But as a general suggestion, you don't do it during the fast. Okay, so when you do the Cascade itself, it's very amazing. Like I've done so many things, like not maybe like some, but I've done a lot of things. I've experimented with like this fast, this cleanse, this detox, like this practice, that practice. Like I can write a book. This one is like I think it's amazing. Like it cleanses the body in so many different, in not only the body, your life, everything, in so many different levels. Like I go and like I get pedicures. That's my other like feeling the time. Like I get pedicures, and the lady that does my pedicure, she's like, "What are you doing? Like what is happening? Like your skin, like you don't have a dead skin at all. Like are you drinking something?" Like I'm not using anything. Like I don't put anything on my body. I don't like no creams, nothing. Like some people do, some people like, I just don't. I don't have time for that. I don't like to spend time on that. Let's put it that way. So Cascade itself is a very powerful instrument if you do it. Okay. If you're gonna do any kind of like filtration, like you guys discuss in the groups, like do it before or after, but don't do it during. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. Thank you. It's actually very helpful. It's a very helpful tip, because one could make that mistake, and I think you're right. It's better to focus on the Cascade as a tool. Correct.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay. And one last question. So I've become quite comfortable with juice and liquid fasting, and I wanted to know how, in your opinion, where again, your own experience or others that you've spoken with, how is there any special instruction you would give on those two, or they're very complementary, etc.?
I would say it's very complementary. If you can do it, if you can, like I have tried, but if you can just do juices on a food day, that's even like, I think it's more complementary and more beneficial on many different levels. I personally, like, I wish I could, like, I am not there yet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, from your acquaintance with the people from these groups, from those groups that you participated, what kind of medical conditions did people heal or did people improve throughout this cascade fasting, if they shared it in different groups?
Yeah. I'm not like that. Okay, it's too much to like list, I guess. And it's very personal at the same time. So every person that goes into this cascade fasting have their own place, their body in their own place. They diet in whatever that specific place. They experience the fasting and cleansing in a specific place. A lot of things, it's very like personalized, right? From what I know of, like the people that I became, I guess, closer and more like friends, like one of my good friends, she like a bladder infection, like she had a chronic bladder infection. And I think by the third month, she's like, oh my gosh, like it's not gonna go away. And so she extended her fast to, I think, 3 days, couple of times. And then now she's like, I can't believe it's gone. But she had it for like not a decade or more, where like, and it's a lot of like a chronic illnesses come back. Like for me, for myself, I had a chronic, like a skin condition. It's eczema or dermatitis, whatever, back where it started very early for me. And with this fasting, even for like 7 days, I know like it was coming out, because those are all parasites, like mushrooms, whatever you want to say. But I think by the third month or like second month, like I started having the rashes on my skin, and I knew that's it was coming out, even though like I had a clear skin for several years. The herpes on my lips too, like I think I had a couple outbreaks, and I think that's part of the cleansing. So that's for me personally. But then I'm overall very healthy. People with I know stomach like indigestion, the acid reflux, like any of the like constipation, all of that is really good. Even like a mental, like not like deep psychology, but even like I wouldn't ever say this in an open air, like go and fast for somebody who has like a severe psychosis or schizophrenia or something. But and not that I know anybody or would recommend like just go into your own like way and do this. But anxiety definitely, depression definitely, any I'm trying to think. There's so many, because there's people who in a group who are older and have some like a severe medical problems, and they even like posted some reports from the doctor where like they had some like a chronic illness that they were taking like medicine for like years, and it was just kind of there, and then they came back and they were like a diagnosis free. They took that diagnosis away from them. So, but I can't remember right now. Stuff with pancreas, and our gallbladder. So any of that, it will regulate. So anything in digestive tract will regulate, but also like the skin conditions. I think I wrote down some stuff in this thing. Different types. Like while I'm looking your body odor, like I don't have any body odor right now. I hardly sweat. I do sweat if I drink like a lot, but like I can wear like same stuff. I went to the mountains and I wore like same stuff for 7 days, and like it got dirty, but it didn't smell. Like I can smell, but like if I smell, I smell, but I don't smell. Journey. I don't know. The only ones that not recommended, like if like I would recommend if you have like really acute, if you have illness in a very acute stage, that's probably like I would be concerned. And other than that, like anything like stuff that's kind of like it's there, like but it's not like there. It's okay. And the I guess like overall suggestion, the longer you had it, the longer it would take you to get rid of it. The like I guess the bigger the problem is, then like it was longer it would take, and then would like mean you would have to like expand the window of the dry fast to get rid of some of that, to clean some of that. But it's very important also what you like eat in between, because if you don't do the right thing, if you start eating like bread again and like things that like feed that back, it's counter like it's just don't do it. Just don't fast them. Hope I answered. I don't know. I don't have
it was very, very good answer. Okay, guys, so who else has any questions for Anna? I have few, but maybe some of the guys here. Okay, I will ask you a question about energy, about sustaining energy level on the fasting days and on the eating days. So have you noticed any fluctuations of energy, or you are able, like in your own case or from your acquaintance with other people, to keep it level, to keep it stable?
Yeah. So again, it depends on the people and the experience in fasting. If you're new to it, in the beginning it's harder, and not as much as energy level. So suggested to continue the physical exercises, to move the blood, to move the lymph, liquid from like your lymphatic system, to keep that moving. So that helps the toxins to release. So even when you like don't feel good, it's like you need to like get yourself out and like walk or like go outside and do something. But probably if you're very new, never done it, and you're on everything diet, prior coming to fasting, I think like the first week is harder because of the toxins like leaving your body so rapidly. It would be just like a lot of like a physical, like I don't know, intoxications, like headache, just lethargic feeling, like a lot of that might happen. For me personally, I feel amazing on my dry days, and my favorite actually not the first day but the second day. That's when like I have so much energy and I can do so much. So I haven't like I want to say I have more energy. Like I can do a lot. Like I usually like I'm very like specific and very productive in my life, but I'll start getting even physically productive. Like I plan the whole thing, or replan the whole thing, or repaint this whole thing. Like I do so much. The one thing that I have noticed that I lost completely interest is Like, I don't want to go to the gym at all.
Mm.
And I used to go to the gym a lot. Running on treadmill, lost interest completely. Like lifting weights, no interest whatsoever. If it's not physical activity outside, I do like yoga, but the Kundalini yoga for me, but everything else, like it has to have a purpose. So that's what I've found for myself. And not because I don't have energy, because I've done it before. And during the dry days, it's actually, I used to like to go and work out more because I get in this like very unique place where like you don't get it with food. Where I don't have energy and I feel sleepy is when I eat. I'll eat and then I was just like done for the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. So when you say you're having more energy, good energy on the second day, you basically mean the day when you eat in the afternoon, like the eating day when you eat in the afternoon, no? Because
Yeah, before I eat.
before you eat, yeah. That's what I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. Before I eat, that second day before I eat. And I usually like, I get up like whole my summer, I got up really early and I went to the ocean to see the sunrise, and I would jog a little bit and then jump in the ocean. Then I go to work, and after work, then I'll eat. So the whole day, like my second day, usually like it's amazing. The first day you like, I have this feeling from foods, like,
Yeah. Okay, cool. And I also wanted to ask, because obviously on your fasting days, you have to deal with food, maybe preparing your food for your kids, things like that. So how do you manage? Maybe you could give our viewers a few pieces of advice, because this issue came up in the group then when people on their fasting days need to prepare food for other
yeah.
people. So just whatever tips you can give would
Mhm.
be really appreciated.
Yeah, so I am I have a family, 3 kids that I have, and 2 cats, and my cats are on raw food now. Like I've transitioned them, and actually pretty much transitioned like my kids into the raw food. So my oldest one, he's 18. He's the one that has much more attachment to the cooked food. Um, so so with my youngest ones, they just find, they just kind of like open the fridge, oh, nothing there. Like, or like they open the fridge and they find whatever they want, and they make their own smoothies. Like my youngest is 5 and 11. But she'll like feed herself. My oldest one, like he can make his own food. I don't enjoy cooking yet. Like yesterday, I made him food. It doesn't bother me actually one way or another to prepare food, because I haven't been eating cooked food for a while, so it doesn't excite me anymore. And like even when I was in transition to the like raw, I guess, food, I will like add some like cooked food, but like I would try it and it doesn't taste good and I spit it out. So I can make food and I don't need to try it. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been like having a family and having to like feed like a husband. I used to have one. The vacancy is there. Like I can like make whatever, like I can actually prepare meat, fish, whatever you want me to prepare, and it comes out pretty decent. So I usually used to have these creativity moments where I want to do this for my family, but now I don't. I don't have a desire, and I don't enjoy it. Like it seems to me like a waste of time. So with all of that, kind of, I've noticed the whole, like I've transitioned the whole household to that. And I feel like my kids are just more connected. Not my youngest one. My youngest one, she's like, I want bread. Don't you gonna get bread today? And we'll make like raw cookies and stuff with her. But she's very attached to that for some reason. The middle kid, he just like, oh, did you eat today? Yeah, I think, I don't know. Like, and he doesn't think about food at all. And he just much lighter. He always been like that. He always been this like very like little eater. And it's very easy with him now. Like I personally lost the fear that I need to feed them or they need to eat. But in the beginning, like my first month of the Cascade, so I've transitioned. I used to buy like a cow milk for them. I didn't drink myself. I've transitioned, like we don't buy them anymore. So my fears are gone in that regard. My fears of are they gonna love me if I don't prepare food for them? Because a lot of times when we go and we get this like the moms loved food, like I don't have that with my kids, but they're just gonna have to love me for other things, I guess. Not for the food that I don't prepare. So like I wouldn't say like I didn't struggle. I did struggle. I wouldn't say I didn't have guilt, maybe in the beginning, but also it was very hard for me now to feed them something that I know like it's not good for them. And they see it, like they like body gets sensitive and stuff. So I can do it, I can cook, it doesn't bother me. I rather not, I'd rather fill my day with something else. But like if the family comes or like we had birthdays, like I had all my 3 kids had birthdays in the summer. So I ordered like a raw plant-based cake and like I made stuff. So it was like, it doesn't bother me. It's the mind. Like if I am sad, like today is a dry day, I make food for them. Like I cut like watermelons and I make juices and I do this stuff, but I'm just like, it's not my day to eat. And it's like, it's calm there. If this third comes up and like it starts like bugging me, I don't have to cook. This third gonna get me. Okay, we need to go to the store. We need to go get the blueberries. Like you need to like, it's gonna feel good. Like, or you feel miserable. You need to do it. That's not like, that's what's hard is the thirds. If I'm like in peace with my thoughts, with my head, then I can do whatever.
Mhm.
Like the same, like I wouldn't eat meat. Doesn't matter how hungry I am. Just like it's like that. Not that I like I don't like people who eat meat, but just like for me, it's not something like I would want it, or bread. Like it doesn't like the idea of like it doesn't like appeal to me ever. Maybe sometimes I'll go back to it. Who knows?
Mhm. And if you had to prepare raw foods or make raw foods for other people on your fasting days, would you be tempted by it, or you have come to the place with your peace of mind where you are not tempted by it at all?
Yeah, if I have like, if it's like a dry day and I have like surprisingly haven't had like problems, right? If it's a dry day and if I'm like in agreement with my head that this watermelon, it will be there tomorrow, just the same, or we'll get a new watermelon or whatever I want, it will be there tomorrow. If I'm in agreement, I can, it doesn't, no tempting, not at all.
Mm. And from the psychological point of view, what would you advise? Because this issue really came up a few times in the group that people are tempted on their fasting days. They have to wives have to cook for their husbands, for their kids, etc. So they're tempted by it. It's difficult for them. It creates
Yeah.
difficulty. So maybe as a psychotherapist, from the psychological, from the mind point of view, what do you have any kind of advice to give them in this
Yeah,
situation?
so you have to have a purpose. You have to know very strong what is the reason you doing something for yourself right now that is hard. Because if you going through something and everybody is not, you need to know why you're doing this. That's like the foundation, like the why. Whatever you're healing yourself, you're doing it for spiritual growth, you're doing it for like find your life purpose, you're doing it for emotional cleansing. Why are you doing it? After you finish your 36 hours, what is there for you? Okay, like you're gonna feel lighter, you're gonna feel like some of this weight will fall off, like some of the fears will fall off, like whatever that is. And my suggestion is write down the purpose. Like get a book. We have like crazy thoughts. Get a book, write down the purpose. Like and not even typing, but writing down on a piece of paper and the pencil or pen is very important. So when you have that, I actually know that I'm much better off not eating than I am eating. So it doesn't bother me. It's same as like alcohol. Like if you ever been drinking and you go to the parties where people drink, if you know what happens to you when you drink, you have hangovers, your body like it's like gets sick, you like damaging your blood, your liver, all your other organs. It's a poison to like to us, right? Like we know all of that. Are you tempting? I don't know, like it's hard. Like sometimes we are, and it's a different state of mind. So like have a purpose and know why you're doing it, because like food is always there. It's like we're all around it, surrounded by food, and it's okay to eat, it's okay to like it's okay. So it's less critical, I guess, in the society. So if you have a purpose, it's easy for you to kind of like know why you're doing that. Like the same with like physical exercise. Like when I run or when I bike, like why am I doing this? Like it's much easier to sit on a couch and eat chips and watch TV, right? But that's not the quality of life I want. Like I like when I am strong. I like when I have this energy. I like when I have this, like I radiate all these ideas, and like I like it. So that's why I do it. And then know why you like situations to avoid. Like if preparing food is triggering for you, order out, in, whatever, have it delivered. If you can't like the smell is triggering for you, leave the house on the time they eat. Just tell them you're allergic if you don't want to like I've never told anybody, even when in my transition or like early, like I don't tell people that I don't eat, because then they start like getting on me. Like they never did, because I've never told them, so nobody really knew. And people really don't, they don't care. We have talked about it. So triggers, like try to remove the triggers. If it does bother you, try to remove it. Try not to be there. Like fill your day with other activities that you enjoy. Go watch a movie. Well, used to be an option, but like walking is still an option, or painting is still an option, or planting like go to like a store, pick up a plant, replant it, do something like that. So like when we're bored, so try to fill it up. The other one is the extreme feeling of unhappiness, right? Like when we feel like because we're not eating, we are like we're less than somebody else, or we're not getting something. Like for I can't think of like the example would be, you know, everybody got an ice cream as a kid and I didn't, and it's very sad for me. So I don't, and then like I have like I fall off the wagon because I feel like nobody understands me, or like why am I so unhappy? So that the feeling of unhappiness, and for that it's, I don't know, like I feel like if you have a connection with your higher self, if you have that purpose, it's less likely that you fall into that hole, the dark hole, and be unhappy. So looking for that, and like I find for myself, like being in the nature really refills me. So that's another reason how like, and then those thoughts, right? Like when they come in, those like, what if, like, oh, this watermelon would be so wonderful right now, because, and then we start exploring. Like I always say, like in meditation, when we close our eyes and we try to focus on our body, and the thoughts come up, right? It's our decision Like think about it as you like walking in a park and you see the suitcase and you're like, oh, wonderful suitcase. And you pick it up and then you start kind of like going through it, right? It's your decision to pick up that suitcase, to pick up the stuff and start thinking it. And then when you think about it, it's like it start getting heavy and you're like, next thing you know, you already have a plan. How you're gonna go to the store and get whatever you wanna get, or this ice cream that you haven't had for 5 years, so this or that. So distract, like you really need to distract yourself. Even like have a rubber band and tell yourself stop, but like actually do something, like get out, take a cold shower, do something different that distracts your mind, completely unrelated with food or something. But so that's what I found helpful in these critical points where kind of have tendencies to fill up the wagon. And like for me, evenings are hard. Like I can go all the way up to like 6 or 7. And especially on the food days, then like the overeating can become a problem. I need to like also plan something at like at 7 o'clock. Thankfully, twice a week, my kids have like gymnastics. I have to go and pick them up. So I'm out of the house. And then even after that, we don't go home. Like I take them to like ocean or something. And it's school. So I'm distracted if I know that's a trigger for me, if I know it will be harder for me to stick with my plan.
Wow, thank you very much. Yeah, very, very comprehensive answer. Okay, guys, so who else wants to ask questions? Laura, I think you posted a question in the group about herbs or something like that.
Yeah.
No, you're muted.
Thank you. Anna, you mentioned that you did a cleanse for about 30 days for your liver and gallbladder. Was that with herbs or?
Sure. I'll show you. That's the one I use. Well, about this like a 30 days. This is a liver, but it has a kidney too. So I don't get any money from him. But what I like it, I'm sure there's other ones that may be less expensive or something. But what I like about it, it comes with a guide, like really easy, like follow, and he does suggest like a juice stuff. And then it comes with this really cool like ways of organizing everything, and it tells you like it has everything what you need for 5 days. And like this one is very effective. Like the first time I did it, like I like turned yellow, like stuff, like and I felt like I thought I was gonna die. I didn't die. So I don't know if that's what you were asking, but
yeah, so you don't, it's not a regular part of your
oh yeah, okay, that's what you were asking. Sorry, that's not the question. So if you're drinking like any supplements like probiotics or like Ayurveda, like juices or like herbs or something, you can do that on the days of food. Yeah, that's fine. Like just don't do like any specific detoxes or cleanses from that.
Yeah, Anna, but I think Laura means that if to ask if you take any kind of herbs on a permanent basis on your eating days, you personally, like supporting herbs, something like that.
Yeah, so in the beginning, I did scrams. I think I've told you that before, like for the parasites. So I did that for like, it's 10 days, so it lost me like 20 days because it was every other day. That's for the like parasites, herbs. I did that, not necessarily suggested by founders, but I found it very helpful for me. I took, I think like on my 3rd month, I took probiotics. Hopefully like with the hope that it would help like my like I keep burping on my dry days, and that's really like bothers me. So that didn't really help, but I did that for like a couple of weeks. And sometimes I'll just drink like teas, like herbal teas, but not specific for any like medicational purposes. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, no, that's helpful. Yeah, because yeah, I was following the Dr. Moore's protocol for a few years, and so I was doing herbs every day, taking the tinctures and the tea. But I just wonder, like, how long do I need to do that, and is it really necessary? Because I've heard a lot of different opposing views on that.
Yeah, I just want to say I have another appointment, so I have just a few minutes. But I do want to say it's my personal opinion again. I think you should like see how you feel. As far as like to take it or not to take it. If it's not like it's not suggested to continue with any like chemical, like pharmaceutical medicine, because it's like what's the point? If you're cleansing, but if it's like herbal, I'm not familiar with the one specific that you're mentioning. Like I would personally do it if that makes me feel like safe, comfortable, and feel good or whatever. As long as it's like herbal and like it's not like chemicals. But then also if you feel okay not doing it or not doing it for 2 weeks and see how you go, I would try that too. Because all of that is crutches, like we kind of have crutches as supplements. That's my opinion. I also have crutches, so I'm not any different.
Sorry, what did you say? They were crushes?
Crutch.
Oh, crutch. Okay, right. I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Anna, can I don't know if you mentioned it, but is this like a lifestyle for you? I might have missed something earlier on. Or do you do this for a certain time period and then stop?
Yeah, I did speak about it. So I did for 4 months, then I took a break 2 weeks, then I did for 3 weeks, and now like on the 4th day of eating every day. The plan is to go back on the 15th again, and I like it so much that I just want to have it as my regular lifestyle. I have found like a difficulty that my psychic wasn't keeping up with it. So I decided, like I've talked to people and I've decided to just take a break, so to allow my other bodies to catch up, because my physical body, like it's ready, but my mind is not so much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Anna, so we'll let you go. I just wanted to ask you on the practical level, if anyone who watches this video wants to get help by you or to join your future groups or something like that. Yeah. So what's your idea about, for example, about this group that you mentioned that you want to lead for English-speaking people? How will it work?
Yeah, so I've been really thinking and started planning. I like to offer this similar like group that I completed, the coaching group, what it's like 30 days coaching, where we'll do Cascade fasting the way I explained, 1 day on, 1 day off, and where all the protocols are like explained, and I lead you through like with the feedbacks every day. So it's done like a very similar like WhatsApp, but we have like one purpose and like a very specific like ways to do it, and in a group mentality too, it makes it like really better. So if you want to be like on a trial group, and I have like maybe like few people that want to reach out and discuss, I mean it's not free of charge. I will charge for that as an energy exchange, I think. But if you want to discuss that, I think if Arik puts my phone number for
Sure.
WhatsApp, I'm open to that, but the plan is like I'm starting like writing the content and just have a landing page and like advertise that to people. So we'll start like a first of every month. That's the hope, and have a English speaking group and offer that to people, just because I believe it's very powerful tool. So.
Yes, Anna. So yeah, so please send me by WhatsApp all the contact details that you would like to appear below the video, and we'll definitely put them. And what other services do you provide for if in case just people like you and they're interested? Could you tell just a few words about that before you go, and then we'll finish?
Yeah, so I'm a psychotherapist, and I have a actual physical office where people come to me, and also offer it online. Life coaching and psychological services for anxiety, depression, relationship a little bit. Like I'm a lot into relationship. I just don't take a lot of couples. So right now I'm at the capacity for couples. But yeah, any kind of guidelines, guidance. And I get so excited when I get like vegans into my caseload, or people who is into yoga and meditation. I get so excited because it's like just the one, like a closer thing. But overall, I just a regular therapist that takes insurance and works in the United States.
Okay, cool. Okay, Anna, thank you very, very much. It was
Yeah, thank you.
fascinating.
It was so nice. Looking forward. So if any questions, personal or in the group, would be nice. And I will see you guys. I have to run.
Yeah. So have a great day, guys, and we will just stay. We'll let Anna go, and we'll just stay to chat a little bit.
Sounds good. Have a
Thank you
good
very
night.
much, Anna, and we will think about our future webinars together because
Sounds good.
it's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye.
Bye, Anna. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Okay,
Anna.
cool.
Bye.
Okay, guys. So, how did you like the webinar?
I thought it was really interesting. Oh, it's such a different experience, hey?
Yes. Yes, Roy, but it seems that you have heard about cascade fasting by your questions, yeah?
Yes. I mean, since I've started researching dry fasting, which is only really quite new, that's something that that did come up. But actually, in Dr. Filanov, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but you know, he mentions it in some of the kind of write-ups I've read from him, the interviews and so forth. So yeah, I did learn about it there, as that it was an option, and always kind of thought, well, that would be a nice way, because I'm just not ready for an extended dry fast beyond even 2 days. I think 36 hours is my max right now. Although
Yeah.
it's getting a little bit easier. I dry fasted last weekend. Although I intended only to water fast, I ended up dry fasting. And it was so much more easier actually than a couple of weeks back. So it's definitely getting easier for me. But certainly from a psychological point of view, I don't think I'm ready to go beyond 2 days or anything. So I think this will definitely be a nice way to break it in.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Laura, what do you think?
Sorry. Yes, I really enjoyed Anna's talk, because I felt like I could really relate to her, some of the struggles that she had, you know, and how she reached this place like slowly. You know, it's not something that can be done overnight. And I liked her suggestions of what to do, because I'm struggling with that too, how to fill my time.
Yes.
You know, because I used to love to spend time in the kitchen and creating dishes, and I still do.
Okay.
So I need to find something to replace that. And
yeah.
So those are very good. That's a very human struggle, I think.
Absolutely.
But I think she's also very lucky that she lives near the ocean. Oh my God.
Yes.
I would love to be able to do that. I'd be on the beach every day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Anastasia, how did you like the webinar? Can you hear? Okay, and okay, she probably cannot hear that. And we also have another guy, Galaxy Tab A. Don't know the name. Okay. Okay, anyways, Rory, so how's it going with your liquidarian experiment, with your solid food vacation? Have you had any interesting realizations recently?
Yeah, actually, it's been it's been this time round on the second solid food vacation's been much more interesting in terms of healing and those sort of kind of things. So, like in the first one I did, it was a bit more rough. This time it's been quite different. The body seems to be more energized. Psychologically, yeah, I feel much more comfortable doing it. It's not. I mean, I don't even count the days anymore. You know, so it's like
Yeah.
in the first one I was kind of just marking them off almost like on a wall, like I was on a stranded island. But like now, kind of, I don't really care for it. You know, it's becoming more of a yeah, it's a much more grounded experience actually.
Yes.
Um, and I'm much more in tune with my body, which is so nice. So, you know, I could probably speak for an hour just on just how, yeah, just how different it is. Um, I've started cutting the calories to see, so I'm doing a lot of experimentation. So I've cut down on calories.
Yes.
I've lost a bit of weight, but my weight seems to have stabilized now for the
Good.
past 2 weeks. Even though I've cut down on calories, so I'm down to about 500 to 1,000 calories a day,
Mm.
and I'm just enjoying the break from so much juice. I really was not handling that amount of juice. You know, 4 to 5 liters a day.
Yeah.
It just seemed to me to be too much on the body. You know,
Yes.
so although this has got its own challenges, and I might not do it forever, you know, if I lose any more weight, I'll probably definitely stop. And I mean, even this week, I've started taking nut milks for the first time in 2 months. So I mean, it's
Uh-huh.
just been 100% juices up until now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I really enjoyed the nut milk. It was so nice. Hemp,
Yes.
hemp, hemp, almond, and date nut milk. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
So you're making it yourself, or you buy it ready?
no, I try to eat 100% raw, so I do it myself.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and we'll see. I'll just experiment like that and hopefully start gaining a bit more weight. So I wouldn't mind putting on a couple of kgs. It'll definitely make things easier. If I lose weight, I will definitely start including some smoothies or start drinking more juices. Yeah, so
Yes.
it's going like that. I'm just taking it day by day. I bought a scale. I weigh myself. But you know, I don't know what my blood work is doing, but I feel 100%. To be honest, there doesn't seem to be any kind of lack. I don't feel any lack. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm able to go and gym 4 or 5 times a week. You know, so I'm trying to maintain all the other aspects of the life, you know, which is, you know, exercise and meditation. And so
Yes.
that's now, I'm giving it more focus now than the juices, which is really nice. And in the first solid food vacation, you know, it was more about the juices.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
now it's more about all those other aspects, you know, of a pranic lifestyle, which I'm trying to get right. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you prepare this nut milk? Do you have high-speed blender, and then you just blend
I
it
don't,
and strain it, or how do you
I,
do that?
no, I don't. I actually have a very medium range blender. It was still quite expensive, but nowhere near the cost of a Vitamix. Um, what I do is I put them through my Oscar juice on the mincer screen, and then it grinds it up quite finely. And then I put it into the blender, and then I chuck in the dates, and then it blend it all up for 3 or 4 minutes, and then I strain it through just a cloth,
Mm-hmm.
not even a nut milk bag, and it comes out beautiful. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. And
Yeah.
in terms of combining it with fruit juices, do you keep a particular amount of time in between, or you just mix them and there is no problem?
I'm trying to actually dry fast for 18 hours a day. So,
Uh-huh.
which is not every day. So, but usually I'm like you, I'm trying to focus on keeping it in an eating window. That's something I'm also experimenting with.
Okay.
Again, I'm not very rigid. I mean, I don't care for it. Any of these rigid rules. Like if one day I'm slightly constipated, I'll have an enema, or I'll take some water in the morning, or a herbal tea.
Yes.
So I'm not really strict about it. But 50% of the time I'm keeping a window only in the afternoon between 3 and 5.
Uh-huh.
In that time, I'll have a juice, and then an hour later I'll have a nut milk. Yeah, and then
Mm.
that'll be all. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how much have you
Um,
been drinking recently? How much liquid?
okay, so anything between 1.5 liters to 2 liters. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe a liter juice. Sometimes it's a little bit more, maybe 1.5 liters.
Yes.
And then actually, I like the nut milk so much that I upped it to about 800 mils, which
Mm,
is a fair
okay.
amount. So I probably won't drink that every day because I think it's quite high in protein, and I know that is not good either. So yeah,
Mm.
it's yet to be seen exactly how that's going to play out. I mean, I've only done it for 2 days in a row now, so yeah, we'll see. Yeah, but I'm really trying to get the exercise, because I think, I really want to experiment with gaining weight. I lost quite a bit of weight, and we always concentrate on food about with in terms of gaining weight, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, even as it was discussed now in this meeting with Anna, it's not necessarily the main mechanism that drives growth, or
Yes.
weight. And I really think exercise is going to be a powerful tool. I mean, I'm also watching that space, but that's what I'm trying to focus on more for gaining weight.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm rational and scientific about it. So if it, I definitely up the calories if I need to, even if that's just for an interim process. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you and Arik, how's everything going with you? And any
Yeah,
recent lessons
yeah,
learned?
yeah, it's going well. I'm experimenting with different kind of drinking window and different quantities of liquid. So recently, I've been keeping less of the particular drinking window because I felt that if I squeeze too much liquids in few hours, then it's too high of a burden on the body and on the kidneys. So I just
Mm,
wanted to see how it would feel if I do not limit myself by window, but I just drink, let's say, some kind of drink every 2 hours. So not to every 2 hours more or less, maybe even like sometimes every 3 hours. So yeah, and I do feel improvement in energy. So recently I haven't been really keeping solid drinking window or something like that. So I would experiment in other direction of just splitting my drinks through the longer span of time. So yeah, because for now
okay.
I do not feel ready to decrease my quantities. So in my case it's around 5 or 6 liters per day. So I just wanted to to drink it throughout the day. So and experiment with that. Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, because like emotionally, it would be hard for me now to decrease it. So, but it's very interesting what you're saying. So let's see if you keep it for longer time, this kind of between 1.5 liters and 2 liters. It's very interesting. If you can get stabilized on that, I think it's perfect.
Who,
So yeah.
who knows? Who knows, Arik? Maybe next week I'll be back on 5 liters again.
Yeah,
I'm really
yeah.
not. I'm really not phased. In fact, it's actually kind of fun just experimenting.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's why I treat it as an experiment, as playing, and it's actually very interesting because you do something and then you monitor your energy level, you monitor your clarity of thinking, you monitor many things. So basically, it's a great way to discover things about your body, about yourself. Very, very
Oh,
interesting.
excellent. Yeah, it's nice to push the limit slightly here and there, and
Hmm.
yeah, and because yeah, you learn so much, and dry fasting teaches you that as well. Water fasting, juice fasting, it all teaches you something different, isn't it? It's so
Yes,
interesting.
yes, absolutely.
And I'm sure Cascade fasting also has a whole, you know, even as Anna mentioned, a whole range of lessons to learn. I wanted
Yes.
to ask you, how are you finding your meditation? You know, for you know, you're very far down the liquid path.
Mm.
Yeah, how are things? If you don't mind mentioning
Yeah,
something on
yeah,
that, yeah.
sure. Sure. So how do I find my meditation practice?
Yeah, are you okay, so I mean specific questions. You know, do you now that you're so far down in your journey on a liquid diet, have you noticed how things have improved? The question number one. Question number two, yeah, do you find it more spontaneous? Do you find it like, oh, I want to meditate today, you know, or I want to meditate now, and or rather than just set times, yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
look, first of all, I do have a particular meditation practice. I don't have a particular set time during my day that I have to meditate between such and such hour, but most of the day, like maybe 95% of the days, maybe even more, I do meditate at least for 1 hour. So I do sitting meditation, sitting mindfulness meditation, and the time throughout the day might differ, but I do that, and I also because I practice mindfulness. So mindfulness is not something that you do just during this hour of sitting meditation. Mindfulness is something that ideally should be implemented every moment of your day. Just doing things
Yeah.
and staying alert, noticing what you are doing. Or there are different techniques, noticing bodily sensations while you do different things. So that because the idea is not to lose yourself, not to do things mechanically. Now I'm quite far from that ideal state or ideal scene. But I try to implement these things, and I can definitely see that this liquidarian lifestyle makes it easier because in general liquids are lighter than solid foods, and then
Yeah.
you get more access to what I actually need for my mindfulness practices, which is mostly bodily sensations, concentration on breathing, a breathing sensation, the air coming in, air going out. So all
Mm.
those things. And I've also recently noticed they also, because of the liquidarian lifestyle, and also because of the mindfulness practices, that basically that the colors became a little bit brighter, and like the external world became a little bit more alive, and it's a great it's a great realization. So yeah, so I
Do,
definitely, yeah, sorry.
yeah, sorry, you can finish off, no problem.
No, so I definitely see the connection. Definitely see the connection. I think that, and I'm actually developing now, in my mind, particular program that would combine mindfulness practices and liquidarian lifestyle, because I think that they go together. This pursuit of pranic living in general, in different aspects, and mindfulness practice. Yeah. So yeah. So what did you want to ask?
I've forgotten now. I did want to mention it would be so nice. I mean, I know you get all these wonderful speakers, but it would be so nice to hear you speak on a subject, maybe one Friday on like mindfulness, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, just some.
yeah. I think it's really important. It is a really important subject. Yeah, especially for fasting practitioners, because during fast we experience a lot of different things on the physical level, on the emotional level, on the mental level, and mindfulness. And by mindfulness, you basically develop your capacity to observe without identification, to let it pass, to stay equanimous, remain equanimous, whatever, to get out at least a little bit of this endless cycle of I like it, this is desirable, this is undesirable, and
Mm.
just to remain equanimous, which solves lots of things by itself. So yeah, so I'll think in this direction, definitely. And you, Rory, have you noticed any, do you have established meditation practice? Is there anything that you do like every day formally?
Yes, you know, I've been also practicing on and off for years. You know, some meditation. I
Right,
practice
right.
Yogananda's techniques. But definitely, you know, this time around with the SFV, I've you know, it's not difficult for me now. It's really helped me actually establish a routine. So I meditate in the morning and the evening,
Yes.
and I think actually that's been the best benefit of this SFE this time around. Yeah, it's my meditation's much easier, and my body wants it like brushing teeth. You know, if you haven't brushed your teeth, I think that
Mhm.
example is often used for meditation. You know, you kind of feel like you've missed out. So
Exactly.
I'm getting to the point, you know, where it's as important as sleep almost. You know, so
Right.
it's I'm now going to bed with I'm not so tired, you know, so I've got the energy enough to stay up like an hour and meditate, which is really having so much benefits in my life. So yeah,
Yes.
that's why I asked you about meditation. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting. It really hand in hand with this kind of lifestyle, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, but it's important for me to clarify that I'm still experimenting. I do not consider myself an expert in any way, neither in liquidarianism nor in meditation. For example, in terms of liquidarianism, I'm still experimenting a lot, you know, with different things, different regimens, because I really want to, you know, kind of find a way to the higher realms of energy and to bring food addictions and stuff like that. And yeah, and in terms of meditation, it's still, for example, you mentioned meditating before going to sleep, but for me it's difficult. For me, like I tried meditating in the evening a few times, and I am kind of too tired, you know. So I usually meditate either in the morning or in the early afternoon. Yeah, but so it's very and it is very good that you know to share this kind of experiences and this kind of gatherings, you know, how it works for you, how it works for me, because we are on the same journey. It's important to learn one from another.
No, absolutely. And yeah, the opportunity to have each other for support and to connect, yeah, is just, I think, yeah, I'm finding the psychological adjustment actually probably the biggest shift that needs to take place. You know, like we always talk about the physical so much.
Yes,
I mean, we touched on the psychological a bit, and but yeah, the spiritual and the psychological, emotional, same thing, is really, yeah. I think the biggest shifts that are taking place, the biggest work that's taking place. I mean, okay, I rather let me speak for myself. Um, that's been the biggest adjustment actually, and as I kind of pursue this, you know, you know, next week I could be back on eating, but that's not the point, because
mhm,
I'm still driven in this process. You know, fasting
exactly,
or liquidarianism is just I'm starting to just see it as a tool for a much subtler process, and that
absolutely,
process is the mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual shift that's going on. You know, that
absolutely.
once I think I think that's what I'm also trying to achieve, is just to get the healing out of the way, so I can actually deal more with the physical healing, get it out the way, so I can actually deal more with the subtle thing. Yeah, the subtle stuff.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, actually, this psychological shift is the most important thing. Yeah, just yesterday, I listened to talk by one chronic person who eats very little, like once in a few days, very little, and he said that
What
you
was the
know,
name?
hmm?
What was the name? Sorry.
It's in Russian. It's a person from Czech Republic, but there was Russian translation there. His name is Piotr Tichy, something like that. You know, he's quite well known in Czech Republic and in Russia. So
Cool.
and he was talking about his personal story. So he listened to a talk by Henry Montfort, which is a French pranic person. Yeah, Henry Montfort, his name. Yeah, okay. There is one French pranic person, and this guy
Yes,
from Czech,
last name.
yeah, this guy from Czech Republic, he had before listening to them, he had never done any cleanses or anything, but just he was so inspired by this talk that he pretty much finished the food that he had at home, and he went pranic, you know, without anything, without any cleanses, without anything. So because at that moment something happened in his psychology. Something happened. He says that
Right.
he realized that it's his path, and the food is the matter of the past for him. You know, it's not like, you know, it's kind of a step that he had done in the past, and it's over now. Like all this. So literally, he just says he finished what he had, and his food wasn't even healthy. He had some kind of animal fat with bread, something like that. So something ridiculous. So he just finished it. He just finished it, and he went pranic like that. From that moment on.
It's amazing. But then, I mean, if you kind of take that down to, you know, where with this on a support level, that's what's happening in a little way with all of us all the time. So, I mean, on the group, we constantly kind of, what's the right word? You know, kind of picking each other up, you know, and like saying, okay, no, cool. You know, indirectly, we're always kind of supporting each other with each message, and we're starting to set new bars for each other. So, I mean, like
Yes.
we raise the bar for each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh
Absolutely.
yes, you know, Arik has been on, for example, Arik's been on liquids for a year. Oh my God, that kind of just like, that right there just kind of shifted my ideas of, well, it just immediately says, well, if he can do it, then certainly I can do it, you know? And then,
Yes.
you know, I might not go for a year, but surely it's now set a whole new paradigm.
Yes,
So
yes,
we
absolutely.
continuously doing this for each other, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Laura, so what do you think?
Well, yes, I agree with you, Rory, that it is like a ongoing process, and you know, we can change from one day to the next. So it's not something that's carved in stone. So it's nice to be able to share and see where everybody is and what changes they're making. And yeah, it's because it is something that's very unusual that, you know, it's hard to share it with people who aren't on this journey. So
Right.
it builds a nice sense of community and belonging and validation. You know, that
Yes,
we're
yes,
like that. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Laura, yeah,
True.
Laura, by the way, have you ever heard before Anna mentioned those Dr. Schultz cleansing system, because you were more into cleansing and herbs? Had you ever heard this particular system that Anna used?
Which system was that?
System for the liver cleanse and for
No.
the kidney cleanse, no?
Well, I've seen them in health food stores, you know, where they have those kits of, you know, particular cleanses. But I
Yeah.
never tried them before. The only thing I ever tried was the Dr. Morse protocol. So I ordered all the herbs and the tea and, you know, but I found it was a lot, you know, and I don't want to become dependent on them, you know, so I wanted
Absolutely.
my body to do what it needs to do naturally.
Yes, sure, sure. So you are still in this process of cleanse of using his herbs?
I was using them during the summer. I think I started in the spring and I finished maybe a couple of weeks ago. So I think I'm gonna, you know, just go without them for a while
Yes.
and see how I feel.
Yes, I see. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I have to go soon. So I think we will wrap it up for today.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you. You too, Eric.
Thank you very much, Rory, and
You too, Arik.
have fun with your liquidarian journey. And yeah, and we'll see you guys next week, hopefully.
Thanks,
Okay.
Arik. Thanks, Laura.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye,
Thank you very
everybody.
much.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye. Bye everyone.